Hey guys, it's Coach Gaglione here. This is another edition of our Gags Goals Updates. Today is our bench specialist edition. So we had a first bench workout. So we got Bench and Benny here. This is Nick Benarakis. For those that don't know, he's our head coach here at Gaglione Strength, former intern. I know he's hit 710 is the best bench, 710 equipped bench in competition. And despite what you may think, the bench shirt does not do all the work for you. You have to, so I wanted to get him on today, but just because specifically, I think I mentioned in the previous post, but again, just to recap, if this is your first time stopping by, I'm Coach Gaglione. This is Gaglione Strength. I'm just kind of chronicling my weight loss journey and powerlifting journey. I've been involved in powerlifting going on 13 years now. I've been in business for going on 8 years now, getting ready for my next competition in the 220 class. And then eventually I want to go down to the 198 class. It's our Road to 198 series. And specifically, one of the things that I've been kind of struggling with, especially with the weight loss, has been my bench press. It's kind of gone up and down. I did bench so at the same meet last year in April that I did at 242, I benched 490. But I haven't been able to kind of crack past the 500 barrier yet. And at slingshot record breakers, I ended up hurting my shoulder. Just on my opening attempt, I ended up taking it 3 times, and I hurt on my second attempt and hurt it worse on my third. But things, knock on wood, have been good. But like I said, coaches need coaches too. So Benny is kind of like our bench specialist here. And like I said, he works with a lot of people. And someone I'd highly recommend if you get a chance, if you're in the area. I know you do some like traveling clinics also. So if you are in the area and you want to kind of learn how to bench, he kind of teaches all our kind of new people and or advanced people kind of the setup and everything, and I've actually learned a lot and have adopted some things of how he sets up on the bench, and it's been a good kind of dynamic between kind of my general knowledge of powerlifting and my squatting and deadlifting experience and his bench press experience. Like I said, when you're handling 700 pounds, whether it's a bench shirt or not, you have to be like very, very precise in your technique and your movement. So one of the things that we always kind of say here, and when we're talking about technique, if it can kind of work for like the highest level, so like I said, if it can work for a 900 pound squat, it's obviously going to work for someone who's squatting the empty bar at 135. So I'm kind of giving up the reins a little bit on my bench press training. So Benny kind of was nice enough, he kind of set up a program for me. So maybe if you could just talk a little about like some of the things that kind of went into the program, and then also one of the biggest changes that we were making is actually doing some more volume and repetitions in the shirt, and maybe talk about that a little bit.
The main thing was, as we did in the past, I'm sure you did, I did a little bit of, we probably only do like 3 sets of singles in the shirt. But the shirt requires a lot of technical practice, so big thing that we're doing now is just getting more reps in. So we're warming up reps to boards, getting down to chest level more often, just practicing the technique along with that. There's a big difference between like a one board and hitting chest when it comes to the bench shirt. So that's probably the biggest change, getting more volumes in, getting a lot more reps in. So like compared to before, maybe 3 reps of practice, now it's like
kind of done,
15 reps of practice. So that's probably the biggest change.
6 sets in the shirt, I think today. I think I kind of cut out early because my fingers were going purple.
Multiple reps, yeah.
But yeah, so on this particular workout today, I did 3 sets of 3. So I actually am using 2 different shirts. One's kind of a looser shirt that we might potentially use for an opener at the meet. And again, I'm going to ask for Benny's advice and kind of see what he thinks. But if things obviously go well, we'll just kind of end up going with, I got a black phenom and a red phenom. The red one's a little bit tighter. The red one's actually the shirt I did hit the 490 in competition last year at 242. I ended up pinching the sleeves a little bit, but I did 3 sets of 3 to a one board with the looser shirt with 405. Those felt pretty good. And then we went up to 440, about 200 kilos for those overseas listeners. So 440 I did for another 2 sets of 3 at the 2 board height. Just because my stroke's a little bit shorter, and I know like if someone had a little longer arms, maybe we would have done a higher board.
Yeah, so that was going to vary. He had shorter stroke setups, but getting real good, so cutting range down. But you can, if you have a longer range, you're going to want to work with a higher board.
So maybe
that depends.
Maybe like a closer grip, maybe your setup's not as good, or maybe you just have longer arms, maybe you're a taller guy, or maybe you're more of a natural deadlifter. Someone like maybe like a Lewis Band comes to mind. Maybe like someone that we've worked with in the past and on our team. So someone like him might benefit from a little higher board work in that case for that part of the workout. And then we went down to 1.5 board. And like I said, at that point, the shirt, I was just not used to having the shirt on for that long. My kind of fingers were going numb, getting purple. I had Benny wrap my wrists, but I did a pretty solid double 1.5 board at 465. And actually, that's the weight I actually failed at the meet in the slingshot record breakers and hurt myself. So for me to hit a double there and it felt pretty smooth, I was pretty happy with that. And then kind of finished off with a little bit of slingshot work. I did 365 and 385 with a shoulder saver pad, which is about a 2 board height for sets of 5 at the end. So maybe if you want to just kind of maybe comment on maybe some things you saw or some things that maybe we're going to be kind of working on in like the next couple of weeks.
So setup's a lot different than before. I know you went feet out flat now. We got the rug down. You've probably seen the video. I think having the traction's a really big deal, and something that I've been struggling with meets is the traction in the warm-up room is not the traction that I'm encountering on the bench pad. So you're warming up one way, and then you're transitioning over to the comp bench, and now like you have traction, but you're used to having to push a different way in the warm-up room, and now your butt's popping off, which for the first time in a while they got me on my last meet. So we have that rug down now, which helps a lot. We got this new bench pad that Tiny Meeker made, and it's really cushiony. Did a good job.
Figure if it's good enough for someone who benches over 1,000, right? Then it's probably good enough for us, right?
Yeah. So, over the next few weeks, we're going to continue to volume, but pretty much working down at boards. Going to hit a lot more off the chest. I don't think we did any chest work today.
Yeah,
but
one board,
mostly higher boards, and then that's going to progress down the chest level. Get a lot of practice in there.
Cool. Yeah, we did the session before this just to kind of feel out the shirt a little bit. I did some, like I said, I did a single at 455 to a half board with the black shirt, and then I did a single at 485 to a half board, just to kind of gauge. So, like I said, for this meet, we're trying to get back over the 500-pound mark, because I haven't been, since I've lost, like I said, over 100 pounds. I have not benched 500 pounds in competition yet, so that's kind of definitely, like, I'd say the overarching goal for this cycle. And just to be a little more consistent. But one thing I think it's really important, I think, like I said, coaches need coaches too. No matter how advanced you are, I think it's important to kind of ask for help. And I definitely, here at Gaglione Saying, I want to continue to involve Coach Ben with our bench programming and just give him a little bit more of the reins. I definitely, being kind of like the owner and kind of the leader of the group, I definitely can tend to kind of micromanage sometimes and maybe just take over a little bit more often than I should, but he's been doing a great job. And this has definitely been, and today's workout felt really good. It was definitely a lot of hard work. It was a busier session. We had a lot of people squatting and stuff today as well, so it was a little bit hectic, but we got the work in, and I think that's part of, like I said, being a good coach. It's just kind of having good people under you and good people around you to help. So I definitely appreciate that.
And really the past year as well, I've been able to get out, train with a lot of different bench guys, bench specialists guys.
People,
so that's something I've been trying to prioritize as well, is get out and learn from other great benchers. And a lot of what I'm taking away is, at first you wonder why the hell they're in the shirt so long and doing so many reps and such long sessions, but I'm noticing more and more the guys that are very technical, very good in the bench shirt, they're doing a lot. Like Greg Powell, he's in the shirt, it seems like almost every week. At 55, you wonder how the hell he's doing it, but they do a lot of work in the shirt.
And like anything else, it's something you build up to as well. But I think just in general, one of the things, and we kind of talked about this a lot in our programming piece and things like that, something like the bench press, it usually for the upper body, usually you're able to handle a little bit more volume and frequency than the lower body lifts, since your spine is not loaded. There's no like compression or kind of shear force. The shoulder joint's kind of the primary joint that's loaded, like in a bench press. So obviously if you arch really hard, you could put pressure on your discs and things like that, but your spine is not directly loaded from the actual weight. So I do think the bench press in general lends itself to a little bit more volume and frequency, and it's something that even that I coach, but it was something I really wasn't, it's like one of those things, do as I say, not as I do. And I like squatting and deadlifting more, so just having someone else tell me what to do on the bench, I think is going to be so that's where we kind of differ, but I think that kind of helps, kind of complement each other, so I think that helps really well. But yeah, so I just want to kind of bring Ben on, and maybe we'll, like I said, we'll get him on in the future, definitely. If you guys follow our channel, you like our content, I think, and if you do struggle with the bench press, I definitely encourage you to follow Ben as well. So maybe you just want to just let people know where they could also follow you, and like I know you have like the YouTube channel, Instagram as well.
Yeah, so
if they want to check out some of your
we
tips
got
too.
great bench content on Instagram and YouTube, and that's at Big Benches. That's Benches with an 8S.
Benchas.
Yeah, Chuz. So you can find that on Instagram and YouTube, and that's just a bunch of videos on bench press technique in specific.
All right, cool. Definitely give Ben a follow, and then, like I said, you know, if you guys are obviously in the area, definitely, like I said, if you ever want to come by for a session, we're definitely going to be offering more things, especially for the equipped lifters, but the raw lifters too. But we want to definitely, you know, I think both of our goals is maybe just kind of helping people expose just more variations of the sport and getting more people involved in powerlifting. There's not just one way. I know, like, you know, sometimes I know, like, when I dislocated my shoulder right when I started my business, I wasn't able to lift raw for a good 2 years. But one of the things that kind of kept me going in the sport was actually lifting equipped. I was able to compete equipped. And like I said, even though I was not able to bench full range raw for a while after dislocating my shoulder, kind of kept me in the sport longer. Sometimes if you beat up hips and things like that, maybe you could squat and brace, but maybe you can't squat, you know, below parallel without them. Just for example, not to say you want to always mask. Obviously, if you have an injury, you want to get it checked out and see a doctor. But just for example, so definitely give Coach Ben a follow. Thanks, buddy, for helping me out today, and it's great having you on the show today. So give him a follow, check out his resources. We'll include some links below if you guys want to check out any of his stuff, as well as the links for our programs, and if you want to try out the gym if you're in the area. If you like the video, please subscribe for future content. Until next time, stay strong, and we'll see you soon.